go back 100 years in Hollywood history and you will not find any single shot more iconic than that of Harold Lloyd hanging from a clock high above downtown Los Angeles. In fact, you can go back exactly 100 years because Safety Last, the crowning achievement of Lloyd's long career, was released exactly a century ago on April 1st, 1923. I think today movie lovers have a tendency to be just a bit condescending to even the most classic films of the 1920s. We watch them and we nod wisely and we say, wow, that's quite good considering when it was made. Especially when it comes to comedy. In the silent film era, much of the genius was in the way film comics shaped stories around their well-established, almost etched-in-stone characters. Charlie Chaplin's rebellious champ found countless ways to poke his finger in the eyes of proper society. Buster Keaton's stone-faced stoic remained unflappable even in the face of overwhelming disaster. Laurel and Hardy, clueless and stupid, valiantly struggled to command a world in which they could never succeed. But then there was Harold Lloyd. Handsome, athletic, sheepishly charming, Lloyd had all the makings of a Hollywood heartthrob. Sometimes he was a vagrant trying to make good, sometimes he was a privileged society fop. Almost always, though, he was at heart a principled guy whose prime motivation was to become a better person. When Charlie Chaplin got the girl, it was a triumph of love over appearances. When Harold Lloyd got the girl, it was, well, inevitable. Lloyd had made some 150 films prior to 1923, and he was already a popular movie star. But Safety Last launched him to superstardom. You probably think you've seen Safety Last, but you're also most likely just thinking of that climactic scene in which his character climbs the side of an office building. And you've also probably seen just a few seconds of that, the moments when he hangs from that clock. But Safety Last isn't just a memorable slapstick sequence. Running well over an hour, the film tells the story of a young man, named, I might add, Harold Lloyd, who leaves his Kansas home to make it in the big city. It starts with a brilliantly funny sight gag. Borrowing imagery from the jailhouse melodramas of the day, it appears Harold is bidding his mother and girlfriend a final goodbye on the way to the gallows. But a flip of the camera reveals they're just waiting for the train taking him west. In one shot, Lloyd is tipping us off that this is a movie about the unreliability of perceptions. For the rest of the film, as he desperately tries to make enough money to marry that girl, Harold's character will pretend to be people he is not and feign success he has not achieved. Even the film's grand finale involves fakery of two kinds. In the script, Harold has no intention of scaling the wall himself. At every level of the building, he tries to trade places with an experienced pal. And behind the camera, Lloyd, through ingenious camera work, convinces an incredulous audience that he is indeed dangling more than 100 feet above the sidewalk. Lloyd strictly forbade any production shots to be made of filming the scene, although a few survive of him staging a similar stunt years later in his talking picture, Feet First. Whole documentaries have been made showing how Lloyd, while performing his own stunts, did so from the relative safety of a rooftop above Broadway in downtown LA. But even knowing the secrets of Safety Last cannot diminish the power of that final sequence, which lasts a full 20 minutes and builds momentum like an ascending moon rocket. A stuntman filled in for Lloyd in the long shots, but close up, it's all him, scaling that wall with studied athleticism and heart-stopping tentativeness. Even today, screen comedy is largely about the moment, the surprise, the clever bit. Not before and never since has a single movie scene embodied such a dual sense of sustained terror and laugh-out-loud hilarity. Safety Last was a distinctively modern comedy in 1923, and 100 years later it remains so. More than ever, we're all hanging from that clock, all trying not to panic as a disinterested, preoccupied world scurries below us, seemingly indifferent to the passions and pain that urge us to go ever higher, to become ever better. For the Saturday Evening Post, I'm Bill Newcott.